Today's paper.
This is Terry Cringle, and today's paper is the Isle of Man Weekly Times and General Advertiser of Saturday, November the 9th, 1901, price 1 penny. The Times was almost certainly the greatest of all Manx newspapers from its founding in 1861 to its end in 1987, during which time it had enormous influence on the affairs of the island and forced the House of Keys to become a democratically elected body instead of self-elected. This achievement, however, is 35 years in the past, as we look at the Times of November the 9th, 1901. Advertisements on the front page, of course, including the steam packet company's sailing schedules for November. We find that the Manx boats were sailing in those days to Liverpool, Belfast, Glasgow, Dublin, Silloth and Whitehaven, and also Ramsey. And this was in the depths of winter, not in the holiday season. The main news is comprehensive coverage of the public proceedings of a committee of Tynwald appointed to consider the effects of bad weather on the promenade and sea wall of Peel, and whether repair and strengthening work should be done with government grant aid. One of the members of the committee was Hall Caine, famed Manx novelist and playwright, who was an MHK at the time. In page 6 there's a story headlined "Honour the Brave, a Manx Soldier." It's about the unveiling of a marble tablet in Lonnon Parish Church to the memory of Colour Sergeant William Wallace of the 2nd Battalion, the Seaforth Highlanders, who was killed at the Battle of Paardeberg during the Boer War a year earlier. He was a Manx-born Lonnon lad of Scots ancestry, and he was a worshipper at the church from boyhood, attending the Sunday school and joining the Band of Hope. Now he was dead and buried in South Africa, where no doubt his grave still is. And no doubt the tablet is still in Lonnon Church. In page 6 there's a story about Alderman Samuel Webb, J.P., being elected Mayor of Douglas for the 3rd time. A successful businessman, Mr. Webb, with his fancy goods shops in Douglas. His name lingers on today in the Samuel Webb pub, in what used to be one of his shops. Also a story from the High Bailiff's Court in Douglas, where we read that his worship uttered exclamations of surprise and disgust when Edith Brown, a girl barely out of her teens, appeared before him on a charge of being drunk and disorderly in Victoria Street the night before. Binge drinking, nothing new then amongst the young. The reporter covering the case saw fit to add a comment to his story when she was sent to prison for 2 weeks. A fortnight's total abstinence may do the silly girl good. Pompous git. There is also another regular feature which we don't see in the papers today, school attendance figures. Ours are for September 1901, with every school in the island listed, and in most cases attendance was over 90% and rarely below 80%. Not much playing wag in those days, it seems. Meanwhile, the news items are interspersed with small advertisements which make compelling reading. At the bottom of one column we find, "Old false teeth bought." It's an offer from a firm in Ipswich, describing itself as the largest and oldest buyers of false teeth in the world, founded in 1833. A proud, even toothsome record. Also we have, "As the hair turns grey, it becomes difficult to get employment. Many people are keeping their situations by using Lockyer's Sulphur Hair Restorer." Now, I think I could do with some of that stuff. Unfortunately, the advert omits to say where I could have bought it, when I might have been reading today's paper, which was the Isle of Man Weekly Times and General Advertiser of Saturday, November the 9th, 1901.
Today's paper.